All right, folks, Vitek here from Wani, and with us today we have one and only Tony Foresta of Municipal Waste. How the hell are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. I just woke up like an hour ago. so,
That sounds pretty good, and obviously, you guys must be super pumped to have the next phase of the career in the form of slime and punishment. Stoked, excited for the next
yeah,
phase?
it's a new era. Starting over again. It's gonna be fun. We had a little bit of time off, so now we're ready to get back out there and start doing our thing that we love to do.
That's right, and it's been 5 years since the release of the last album, The Fatal Feast. Was it sort of a conscious decision to give more time to yourself to write the next record, or was it because of some, some personal related stuff?
No, we all get along great. It was just more like we had so many records out already, and we toured really hard for Fatal Feast, and I think after that we just kind of wanted to take it easy and do our own thing and just write a record slower and take our time, do whatever we wanted, do other projects, and hang out at home, be in Richmond for a little while. So yeah, that was cool. And then now we're itching to get back to work. So finally finished the record, and now we're ready to roll to hit the tours.
That's awesome, man. I mean, I started listening to the record a couple of days ago, and the moment I got into the first track, Breathe Grease, and as I started getting into that, followed by the Dingy Situations, I realized that you guys have focused a lot on the musicianship, certainly in terms of guitars. Now that you've added a second guitarist in the form of Nick, which is obviously complementing the efforts of Ryan. Was there a primary focus to spend more time on the riffs and the arrangements on this record?
Yeah, I mean, we always try to step it up every record, and do something different, make it sound heavier. And I think adding a second guitar player is what we needed. It's. I don't think we really did it. We just kind of did it. We wanted to have like a more fuller live sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I think adding him on the records too made the records have a little bit more of a crunch to it that we kind of needed for the last records. So yeah, I think it sounds a little bit heavier. It still has that punk metal sound that we have though, because Nick was like the perfect choice to play that style of music with us. So we were really glad to have him on board.
That's right. You guys started writing the record in 2014, and obviously Nick joined in 2015. So was it sort of like you had written some material before Nick joined in, or the songs were actually written after Nick joined?
We've been writing material for years. So we almost had an entire record written, and then we scrapped it and just threw it in the trash and started over because we just didn't like what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't feel right. So once we got Nick in the band, started rewriting stuff, we went over some of the old songs and kind of reworked a lot of stuff. And I think having him on board was a good addition to kind of kick us in gear and start getting back to how we usually write things and just get the damn job done.
Absolutely, man. That kind of reminds me of Poison the Preacher, which, kind of made me feel like I'm listening to The Art of Partying, and that's one of my favorite records. But what I found on that track was how good it is that you guys were able to revisit the best parts of your past and still looking forward towards the future.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it sucked, then I don't think we'd want to do it, Yeah, I think it's like I think that's why we kind of scrapped the last record that we wrote, because we just didn't think it was up to par with our other records. So we're like, we're not going to put out a shitty record in our eyes, Like we want to be happy with it ourselves first before we even get it out to the public. So yeah, I mean, we worked really hard, and maybe sometimes we overthought it, maybe thought too much on it, and that might have been what took so damn long. But we're happy now. I'm really pleased with the outcome of the record. I'm glad we got the damn thing done.
Awesome, man. And the instrumental capabilities of the band, like you said, you progress yourselves album after album, and that's something which I noticed over here. I mean, let me take an example of a song like Bourbon Discipline. The instrumental section is more of a melodic side. Once the track starts, again, it kind of demonstrates clearly that you have your arsenal as opposed to the traditional thrash metal firepower. That's wonderful to see how you guys are able to write songs.
Always had. Yeah, I think we've always had like a kind of melodic, like catchiness to it. Even if it's like a chaotic song, we always try to have like kind of like a hookiness to it or something to remember the song by, instead of just trying to blast like 100 riffs in the one song and go just brutalize things. I think we always try to keep it like somewhat catchy, even though it's not really a catchy genre of music. It's brutal and heavy, but we try to keep it catchy without being cheesy.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
No, that's right, man. I totally get that. And obviously, listening to a lot of records recently, I heard the new Havoc, I heard the new Warbringer, and obviously the thrashier side of the new generation bands is still, you guys are still holding the flag, so to speak. But for you guys in general, how important is it to not only, let's say, respect the 80s thrash scene, but also add your own individual influences, or let me say non-thrashy influences to the music?
I think it's very important. It's the key to writing good music, writing song. I think it's the key to staying creative is to not just try to be something. We're like influenced all over the place. Like half of us listen to death metal and heavy metal and hardcore and crossover. I mean, so we're all over the place as far as our influences go, and I think that is what makes us sound the way we do, and like all of our influences kind of stick out, and yeah, I think that's the key for us, at least, to keep the band interesting. Is like don't just try to be an 80s thrash band, like of course that's an influence on us. It's a big influence on us, and we love that stuff. But that's not where I'm setting out to be all the time. I just want to write killer songs, and I love fast metal. I love punk and hardcore, and I just love mixing all that shit together and trying to create something fun out of it.
That's right. I totally get that. And I always wondered that you guys have a signature style of writing short songs, 1 minute, 1.5 minute, and very rarely you cross 3. Even though on this album, there's one track that has crossed 3 minutes. Has it ever happened that you guys have written a song and it kind of built in such a way it's heading to a 4 minute or a 5 minute mark, and you guys were like surprised to see how the hell are we doing this? By this time, we would have written probably 2-3 songs.
It usually never happens. I don't think we've ever written a song that long. I don't think there's one song on the last record that was kind of long, but we're just we also like kind of have attention deficit disorder where you just don't want to play the same thing more than too many times because you get sick of it. You want to move on to something else. And if it's a good riff, you just come back, you bring it back later. But you don't want to play a riff too many times; it gets too boring. Yeah. So I don't like a lot of I like a lot of doom bands, but there's also a lot I find really boring.
Yeah, a lot of repetition,
repetitive, and I get it doesn't come off heavy to me if you're just playing the same riff slowly over and over again. It just seems boring to me.
I get that.
I'm not trying to slam everything. It's just, for me, it's like I just started thinking about other stuff and looking at my phone or something.
That's right. I get that.
I like to keep your attention and jump around from different things.
That's right. It's surprising. You never know what's going to come next at you.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Now, talking about your vocals, obviously there's a signature Tony Foresta style on this. I mean, I immediately get this Bourbon Discipline example in my mind where there's sort of that snotty bark, which is probably the best that sounds on the song, and also your style on the record. Was that any specific plan you had in mind when it comes to vocals, the sort of execution-wise? Any difference as compared to the previous ones?
Each song's different, and I've just done so many damn records at this point. I just try to make sure I don't do the same thing with every song. You know, I just kind of like make it like I don't have like a crazy vocal range. I'm not like a singer. You know, I guess I'm a singer, but I'm not like an actual singer. Like I have my own style, and there's certain things I can and certain things I can't do, and I haven't really tried to branch out and do some like clean vocal singing. It's just not really ever going to happen, I don't think. It'd probably be disastrous if I tried. But, so no, I mean, I just do just try to work with what I have and do something creative with each song to keep it catchy and not just sound like the song previously, you know. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just try to keep it punk and pissed off.
You already told me about how you guys like to mix the thrash, the punk, the hardcore scene, and that's evident on the lower half of the record with Amateur Sketch or even Low Tolerance, where it's the approach that kind of draws instant attention to the 80s thrash and the hardcore punk influences. So again, there's a lot of the mixture of various things which you guys write. Do you think at this point of time, is it something maybe you want to branch out a little more in the future, or you guys still feel there's a lot of room to write songs even further in the hardcore punk and the thrash mixture?
Yeah, I still think we can keep it interesting. I don't want to go like Metallica Black Album or anything and just try to, try to just, I don't know. I'm not going to like try to branch out and be like, we gotta start playing this because we're gonna sell more records and do that. I don't really fucking care about that sort of thing. I just want to like do what feels right to us and keep it brutal.
Yeah,
I mean, and
it would be awkward. It would be awkward to see you sing happy songs, isn't it? So
yeah, it's just not my thing, really.
That's right.
So yeah, I mean, maybe if we feel like doing something different down the line, I mean, I'm sure it'll be cool. I'm down for it, but I don't want to I'm not really trying to change our style up so we can sell more records or something. But if we end up doing something to keep it interesting, that'd be fun. But we'll see. Yeah, I doubt it. I'm just it'll be I don't know.
What are the plans of taking?
If anything, it would just get grosser,
Yeah, I like that part. So, how about taking the record live? I mean, is there any touring plans being done so far? I know it's still not announced that you guys are releasing an album, so I had to kind of be more protective of the title and stuff. So, what is the plan with respect to the touring? And when is the actual...
We're doing June for 2 months.
Wow.
We're doing June, July, and August, a full U.S. tour on the Vans Warped Tour with it's Hatebreed and Guar and the Adolescents and a million other bands are on it. So that should be fun. And then I'm sure we'll be working out some headliner gigs in America. Then we're going to go to Europe and try to get as many places as possible and get the new songs out there to people so they can enjoy it. Because they probably haven't heard or seen us in a long time.
Definitely, man. Absolutely, man. That would be great. So if you had to sum up the record, Slime and Punishment, in a sentence, what would you say?
Ferocious, fun, and flirty. I don't know.
Triple F. Ace, man. Thanks, Tony, man. Great time having a chat with you. You have a wonderful time ahead. Good luck with the release, and I'll definitely catch you on road.
Awesome, man. I'm glad you liked the record and really appreciate it.
Take care, buddy.
Appreciate all the support, and hopefully we'll get out there soon.
Absolutely, man. Take care of
yourself.
Bye-bye.
Bye.